This is the Frank and Friends Show. Hi there, I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
Welcome back, Kathryn Frady.
Thank you, Frank Murphy.
It's always a delight to have you here.
It's always a delight to be here.
And thank you, by the way, for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Did you even know that we did hit the 1,000 on YouTube?
Yeah, you told me, and I think I owed somebody a song for that, but I...
Oh, well, claim it. You have to send in the screenshot that you are number 1,000, and Kathryn will sing to you.
That's right.
Serenade you. Much like you're going to be serenading on Sunday at the Cathedral of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus on North Shore Drive between Kingston Pike and Lakeshore Park.
At 5:30, and it's free.
Nice poster.
Right? This is beautiful.
I'll have to tell you how I've been driving those around town. And I have a few other things to talk about. We had relatives in town over the weekend, this past weekend, and it was a big eating weekend, which is not good for me because this coming weekend is going to be a big eating weekend. As Becca James and I will host the Fair Food Throwdown again this year.
Nice.
That's on Saturday, 2 p.m., Saturday, September 7th, 2 p.m., inside the Jacob Building at Chilhowie Park during the Tennessee Valley Fair. So, come on over if you're going to be at the fair on Saturday during the day. I didn't look, but they usually have discounts on Saturdays if you wear orange.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And the game's not till 7:30 at night.
So you can do both.
Plenty of time to come over and see who's got the best funnel cake, corn dog, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And watch Frank eat a lot of food.
Well, I can actually, as the MC, I don't have to eat any of it.
Oh, you don't have to, but
the temptation,
watch Frank eat a lot of food.
The temptation is strong, is the problem. I don't know what I just breathed in outside.
Well, that's what happens.
I went outside to restart the pool vacuum, and now listen to me. I was
Well,
fine
there is something in the air.
A minute ago, right?
Yeah, that's been happening to me all morning. So there's some kind of allergy.
Sorry for clearing my throat. If I'll do it again and add a funny sound effect, is what I can do.
Do it with the Yeah, anyone name that tune? Oh. Do it one more time.
It's Beethoven's Fifth, is what it's supposed to be.
I really wanted them to name
it. Yeah. Which will be performed by the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra this coming season.
Will it?
Yeah.
No, Oak Ridge is
they're doing the 9th.
Oh.
But the KSO is doing Beethoven's 4th and 5th.
Right.
We did a ticket giveaway on Fun 105.9, 70s and 80s hits. And one of the shows we gave away tickets for was Beethoven's 5th, along with some other interesting things on there too.
Nice.
So I made a promo and I used the music, and it was
That's
so
great.
nice, so
That's
exciting.
Good. Yeah.
So I'm sorry that I seem distracted, but I recall, boss and my employer with Marble City Opera, I recall being questioned about how a picture of you wearing the arm tape made it into the newspaper, and you said, why would you send them a picture of me wearing the arm tape? And I'm like, I didn't send it.
Well, how did they get it?
They sent a photographer to the event.
No, this was a rehearsal photo.
No, it was a photo from the pop-up opera party.
Okay, yes.
And they sent a photographer, and maybe they were there for the rehearsal to get, at the beginning.
I think actually, well, yeah. Anyway, they had a photo.
So the point is, I didn't send it. Okay. Now here you are wearing it on the show, and what am I supposed to not mention it? I'm not that good.
You can't edit it out?
Well, if it was, if you had made it green screen, if you had made it like the same color as our Frank and Friends show beach towel, which you can get at frankandfriendsshow.com/store. It's upside down.
That's upside down. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll talk more about the merch in a minute because I went on last night and made a bunch of new Frank and Friends merch.
Well,
but tell me about this.
This is fun. I don't personally love it if it gets in the newspaper. Then it's there for life.
Right.
But,
Oh, come on. Nobody's going to see that newspaper article.
Truly. That's true. Good point. Never mind. Just put it in the newspaper all the time. It's fine. But actually, it's hilarious. People ask me about this all the time when I wear it.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, no one does. No, it's a kinesthetic tape. So athletes wear it.
Yeah, okay.
But I have...
You sing with your arms now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm an athlete. Yes, exactly. I mean, we know this. No, I have an issue where I need it for my arm and my hand to the more I use it or whatever. But
I think it's from lifting the dog.
It probably is.
I think it's Sasha's fault.
Yeah, I blame Sasha a lot. But the most recent thought somebody had, because sometimes people are just think it's something fashionable that I'm trying to wear, which I think is hilarious. I'm like, no. I've gotten that before. And also, most recently, someone at Intro Knox thought that I had a large tattoo on my arm.
And you're covering it up.
No, they thought this was the tattoo. I was like, that's a good one.
That's a strange
That's a good
tattoo.
one.
I've seen, in opera and in all forms of show business, actors and actresses have to cover tattoos
Yeah.
if you're playing a character who doesn't have tattoos.
Sure.
So that's pretty common, right? There's makeup for that.
There is.
And other things. I
Yeah.
mean, sleeves, obviously, clothes.
Yeah. Sleeves, clothes, makeup, mostly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the merch that I mentioned, do order that. But I went on, now that I work for Marble City Opera, you asked me to go on the same merch site that we use for the Frankenfriend show with the glasses and all the other things, and maybe see if I could, experiment and make some Marble City Opera merch.
Yeah.
So I had enough room. You can do, now they changed it the way, since last time I did it, I had to go back and redo mine, in fact. Thank you for the exercise. You do 15 items is a listing.
Right.
So I had up to 14. I'm like, I may as well find something else to throw in there.
Sure.
So because of you and your dog lifting, I went and picked, I don't know if it's a dog t-shirt or a dog sweater.
Did they have one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's amazing. I'm so excited ordering that today.
So I put a Marble City Opera logo on the back of this dog shirt.
Yes. That is fantastic. Get ready, world.
So please do enjoy that. To tie up the other loose end, the poster that we just showed for Sunday's concert, Glenn Kaler at Sacred Heart printed several of these. In fact, he gave me more than I need. I mean, there's only so many libraries within a reasonable radius of the Cathedral. But I went to Bearden. Well, let's see. I went to Carnes, Cedar Bluff, Bearden, Sequoyah Hills, and the Carnes Senior Center, and I also dropped one at All Saints Catholic Church.
Nice.
So just as I'm out and about, but some of these I made a specific trip to go to the library because I found out I didn't really even have an updated library card, so I have one now because
good.
while I'm there, may as well get a
Why not?
library card, Well, I went to the Sequoyah Hills Library. Sequoyah Hills is a wealthy neighborhood with older, beautiful homes, but it's also, it's like its own world. Like you wouldn't go there unless you meant to go there. You wouldn't go there by accident because as soon as you turn into it, the streets are narrow, the speed limit is 20, there's people walking, they have walking paths, but for whatever reason, the people walk in the middle of the street instead.
It's more fun.
And
living dangerously.
Yeah, but there's along the water and it's beautiful and there's parks and it's nice. You should go. In fact, we took Jerry's sister and her husband were in town over Labor Day weekend again this year. So one of the things we did is as we were driving home from brunch on Sunday, said, "Well, turn left here. We're going to go down scenic."
Oh, nice.
The name of the road is Scenic Drive.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a scenic drive.
That's good.
So I'm going down Scenic Drive to get to the library. Now this is, of course, during regular business hours. The library's got to be open, and I didn't think about it. I don't know anything about Sequoyah Hills. I'm using Google Maps to help me find the library. I'd actually never been to that branch before. And the traffic comes to a slow and then a standstill.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, this is a popular library. Because according to the map, it's like, 2/10 of a mile away. But then I'm looking and I see there's a school bus.
Okay.
In fact, there's two school buses and it's two-lane road, one lane in either direction.
Oh, no.
The two school buses are next to each other, closing both lanes of traffic. And I have now, unfortunately, I've gone too far, and there's a car behind me, and I can't turn around and leave.
You're stuck
and I thought,
in the pickup line.
Yes. So
the kids.
Every other school I can figure out that it's a pickup line because like Cedar Bluff, they close off maybe one lane of traffic and everybody else has to inch past. So you avoid that area. First of all, I didn't know that there was a school right there near the library. So that was my own fault.
I was thinking that you were going to the school library.
Oh no.
Accidentally.
The public library is maybe 2/10 of a mile past the school, and I have to get past the school. If I had known, I could have come around a different way, but I didn't. And of course, when I get to the library, there's nobody in there because the road's been closed for the school pickup line. And I felt like such a doofus, but I'm just sitting there. What else are you going to do?
You can't do anything.
You know, just
Did you go through the line and like talk to the principal? Like, like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I don't have any kids to pick up. It's not weird at all.
No, I get, but when I'm driving down and I get to the point where everyone is turning left to go into the school and they're waving me in, I'm like,
You're
nope.
like, I don't have any children to pick up.
I just said, nope, and I kept going straight. And she's like,
Very
and I was
confused.
obviously the only person who had done that. And when the school buses cleared, I felt like such a tiny little car next to these 3 massive school buses that are squeezing by on this narrow road.
Amazing.
But the poster is at the library. I'll
That's
tell you
good.
that.
It made it.
As long as one person comes to the show because they saw the poster at the Sequoyah Library, it'll all have been worth it.
We should survey them at the door as they come in.
Yeah.
How did you find out about this concert?
And speaking of schools, I just would like to, for the record, show my expired school coupon book for last year that now is expired as of August 31st. Because as you can see, I used so many coupons.
These are great.
No, but
we
you
get
buy
one
them,
every year.
But then you never use it.
and then you never use it.
I'm happy, and the neighbor kids
Well,
across the street will come over and they'll ring the doorbell and they're going to ask me to buy it again.
And
that's
you're
up
gonna
to
buy it.
It's $20 now instead of 10.
Really?
Yeah, but I'll buy it because I mean, if I might have used a $5 coupon here and there, so I probably saved at least $10.
There you go.
Maybe it broke even, maybe not.
I just feel really sad for Jerry that you didn't use this one.
Which one? Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A free
She
sandwich.
does enjoy a good Chick-fil-A. Yeah, she could have had that. She didn't use it. We could have when the grandkids were here. We used free Oreo dust at Cruz Farm.
Okay.
'Cause I felt so weird about not. The other night, as it was getting down to the end of August, Dave Fennell is here recording a show, and Jerry's going to go pick up dinner because she doesn't want to cook and make noise while we're doing the show.
Okay.
So she's going to go to some place called Fulin's Asian food. I said, wait. I've got a Fulin coupon. Well, she's gone, and then she comes back and sets the food down. When I moved the bag, she left the coupon home. So
Oh no. You tried.
We tried.
You tried.
Anyway, so thank you, school coupon book, for. I guess I can try to get it right in the garbage. Let's see.
Nope, didn't make it.
Well, so close.
Not at all. Is that going to bother you? Are you going to be able to handle it sitting over there like during this whole episode?
Oh, because it doesn't look neat and orderly?
It's not like perfectly aligned.
Are you implying? What are you implying, Kathryn
Well,
Frady?
I just think it's interesting that I never really realized how OCD you actually are.
I'm not OCD.
No, not at all. Let's make sure this camera is like exactly. Should I turn this just slightly? I think there we go.
Yeah,
That's better.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm COD is what I am. What do you? All right, so
You were measuring the table to the distance of the table
Well-
to the wall to the.
yeah, the relatives were here, and it didn't look right to me, so I went and got a tape measure, and I measured the corner of the table to the wall behind us on both corners because
Did you do this before you moved it or after?
today before you
Okay.
came over.
Yeah.
I was setting up the room and putting up the lights and the camera and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt it looked off to me. So I got the tape measure out and measured the distance from the corner of the table to the fireplace.
I'm realizing in this moment that you may have another skill set that Marble City Opera needs.
No, I don't. No, I'm tapped out. I'm.
You might have a calling to be
Okay.
a stage manager. Like that's very stage managery of you.
Oh yeah, you got to spike where the props go. And
Yeah,
put the
but
tape down. And all that.
Typically, they measure it before they move it,
Sure.
so that they know how to get it back into the right spot.
Yeah, it's
So just
very,
for future.
I'm just saying it's very organized. I'm just was looking to set the stage here. I'm managing this stage, and I can barely do that.
Oh my goodness.
So my wife has encouraged this.
Well, we were
delusion of
talking
yours
about
that-
it at Delusion. I don't know. We were talking about it at the Cave concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was great. By the
It
way.
was a fun time.
That she thinks
Yeah.
I'm OCD.
Can't remember exactly what it is that you were doing, but she and I were walking to my car, and oh yes, you were. It was because of the posters. It all comes back to the poster.
It all comes back.
I wanted one for my own records.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
And I will-
And that's the end of the show, everybody. audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendShow.
You know I gotta prove it now. And I wasn't allowed to take the poster off of the top of the pile.
No, that one had been out. That one had been out on the table.
Somebody had seen it, you know.
No, I've touched things. I wanted to give you one, a crisp, fresh one from the middle of the pile.
Right. And the thing about this is that I took one to make you happy out of the middle of the pile, but then I had to put it in the back of my car with like nothing to like protect it.
Do you need another one?
No, it looks fine to me. I don't think that it would meet your standards, though.
Well, if you're going to frame it, you can't have any wrinkles or anything in it. You know, it's got to be nice.
It'll be nice enough.
It's got to be nice.
It'll be nice enough.
Well, I remember now, my wife started telling you the story of how, in the old days, when we had newspapers, which remember we joked about how newspapers would live on forever. Well, they don't, obviously. And with my producer job at various radio stations, I would buy either I would get the Washington Post at work, except on Sundays, and in Los Angeles, the LA Times. But on Sundays, I'd go buy that one. And my family would hate it because I would spend sometimes a little too much time at the store looking through the pile to get a nicer one.
Oh, yes.
And it annoyed everybody. And obviously, because then my rule was no one can read it, no one can open it until I have to be the first one to peel open each page because that's the OCD.
Yes.
Right. I don't want to read a used newspaper.
Why don't you just buy one for yourself and buy one for everyone else?
Well, I think that actually happened one time, and I didn't do it intentionally. I had my mother and sisters were visiting us in Burbank. And it was a Sunday, and I get my newspaper. And after we've gone to church and had breakfast or lunch or whatever, I'm ready to, because I've got to go to work the next morning. I need to at least skim through and see what the weirdo stories are, right? And I go and I open the paper, and it's like an old comedy movie, like The Three Stooges or whoever would do this, and there's big giant holes missing. I'm holding the thing up because my sisters, out of spite, out of a joke, have gone through and just cut out random squares, random pictures, geometric shapes, just to get me. And to see how mad they could get me to be about this newspaper having been defiled. And when I just kind of sink in resignation, like, what am I going to do? You
didn't think it was funny?
I didn't think it was funny. I got sad. They thought I would get angry, maybe. I don't know. When people prank me, they never get the reaction they wanted.
That's sad.
I found that
we'll have to try. We'll have to
time.
keep making efforts.
One guy took a picture of me and wouldn't give me the picture for the longest time. And when he finally did, he had photoshopped it to make me look 50 pounds heavier. And it just made me sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
And he thought I would get angry or get excited or be, react, give a reaction. And I just got very introverted about it and sad about it. And the same thing with the newspaper. So they were disappointed. They didn't get the reaction they wanted. And I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just that's how it actually makes me feel.
Yeah.
Well, then turns out they had bought a second newspaper and like, okay, here
you go. Yeah.
Sad sack. Here's your pristine.
Here's the one that no one has touched.
Los Angeles Times. So yeah, I guess I do have a.
I do love that story though. I mean, it gives me so much inspiration.
Well, I've had a busy time. Like I said, we had Jerry's sister and her husband around, and we went and did things and went to places, and even we just went to the supermarket. One of the trips was just to go to the supermarket and get some salad, and we ended up getting a little bit of dessert and whatnot because we were gonna have leftovers that night. Because I'll tell you in a minute how we've been to every restaurant under the sun. And I see our next door neighbor's son is walking walking into the supermarket, I guess, and I'm waving at him, and he's looking at me like, who's that weirdo? And of course, now I've got 4 people in the car, so it might be weird that he sees, I've got my wife and me and 2 strangers to him. And he just looks at me like, I don't know. And Jerry's like, are you sure that's him? I'm like, yeah, I think I recognize him. That's him. I don't know. Well, they all go into the store, and they're flitting around the produce department.
And you chase this person down?
Well,
in the parking
it turns
lot?
out, I, for whatever reason, was lagging behind, probably getting an advertising flyer from the middle of the stack. Because I couldn't take the top one.
It does take more time, so
and,
that's a good reason.
And he comes walking out of the store, and I said to him, hey, Mark, hello. And he's like, oh, hey, I said, it was me waving at you in the car. He's like, oh, I don't think I knew anybody in a Hyundai. I'm like, well, it's a Honda.
That's weird.
We only live next door. I don't expect you to know what my car looks like. But that was his excuse.
That's funny.
And then, so we buy our stuff, and as we come out, I see a guy in the store now as we're going up and down the aisles, and I have this flash of, I recognize that person. And I have to think about it. I think, well, I think I know who it is, but maybe I'll get another look at him.
Okay.
Well, it turns out that we end up leaving the store at the same time as this guy. And he's coming out, he's wearing a tank top and shorts, and he bought whatever it is that he needed, one little thing, and he's ready to get to his car. And I said to him, hey, aren't you the dancing blue shirt guy?
Dancing blue shirt guy?
Do you know the dancing blue shirt guy?
No.
Last year at the Tennessee Volunteers game, there was a guy dressed as a security guard in a blue shirt and khaki slacks. And he's standing there like a security guard, like they all are.
Sure.
And someone is complaining that he's blocking the view of the UT dance squad or the cheerleaders or some dancers. And this is all on a viral video.
Sure.
It's all being captured on video of someone complaining about him blocking the view. And maybe the cheerleaders might even be telling him, move out of the way. That's probably what it was. The cheerleaders are telling him, get out of our way. And he walks over and then, of course, starts doing the exact same dance routine that they do because he's
on the team.
The whole thing was set up. He had, when he was at UT, did not make the team, did not go out for the team, whatever reason, missed the opportunity to be on the team and regretted it. Aww. And now, as a grown man, he worked out this shtick with the dance squad. And everybody goes wild because I think they even have it on the Jumbotron. It's all pantomimed out so everybody can see it.
Yeah. So
that dancing blue shirt guy, the fake security guard, can do the routine they've all worked on together. And it's funny. It's great. Well, and I think they did it again at a basketball game and blah, blah, blah. So I said to the guy, what?
Are you dancing blue shirt guy?
Are you dancing blue shirt guy? And he's like taken aback. He's like, yeah. He said, How did you know it was me? And he points down to his, tank top, white tank top, which is not the dancing, not his blue shirt. It's not blue,
yeah.
He's like, how did you know it was me? I said, your face.
Your face.
I recognized your face. And it was like, he's like, what?
He was so confused by that?
So confused that I would recognize
hilarious.
him by his face. And I said to him, I'm friends with Tala Shatara, who's had him on her show. Ooh. And in fact, gets even more detailed than that. Tala one time called and asked me to co-emcee a charity fundraiser with her, but I already had a gig that night and I couldn't do it.
Okay.
So she got this guy to do it, and she had sent me the poster. So I'm aware of, in fact, I even remembered his first name. I don't remember his last name, but I remember his first name. I said, you're Michael, right? Tala Shatara told me about you.
It's amazing. So you made him feel fancy and famous.
Well, he should feel fancy and famous. He's a viral video sensation.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, speaking of seeing celebrities out in the wild, I would like to show a picture right now of none other than 96-year-old Dr. Bill Bass and his wife Carol and me as we all went out to lunch for his birthday. And you can find out more about Dr. Bass at bonezones.com.
Don't forget the S.
Because you can get fabulous autographed merchandise. In fact, under the poster, I thought everything on your side today.
Well, that's right.
This is the autographed paperweight. It looks like a skull. The Body Farm or Bill Bass groupie hat. The Body Farm t-shirt. Books. All this amazing stuff. And thank you to everybody who mailed a birthday card to Bone Zones. They went and had to make 2 deliveries to him, once before Labor Day and once after, because so many more came in the mail over the Labor Day weekend. And Dr. Bass, what a delight. Just fun to spend time with him. And I want to ask him how he's doing. And all he really cares about is, how's Dr. Frank Jr. PhD doing?
Oh, that's sweet.
How am I doing? How's Jerry doing? And I did get to do my impression of Carol Bass to her face. And
did she like it?
She loved it.
Oh, good.
I said last year on Dr. Bass's birthday, I called. This year we went and saw him in person, but last year I was trying to go meet him and leave a jar of fig jam for him, or apple butter, I think it was. And I call, he's not at home. I'm ringing the doorbell, no answer, so I call. I want to make sure he's not laying.
Yes.
I want to make sure he's okay.
We want to make sure he's alive. Yes, especially on his birthday.
He was 95 that year. So I stand on his front porch and I call, and Carol answers Bill's phone, Dr. Vass's phone, and it says, "Oh, hello, hello, Frank, this is Carol. No, Bill can't come to the phone right now. He's driving."
He's driving. Oh, that's a nice accent.
So, Southern Virginia accent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And in fact, they drove to meet us at the restaurant.
Okay.
And apparently, there are regulars there. When I mentioned a couple of different restaurants, and Carol in the background on the phone is like, "Well, what about Chesapeake's?"
Chesapeake's. Oh, I think we should just talk like this for the rest of the time.
Oh, it was so delightful.
It was so delightful.
Well, we get there, and apparently they have a regular table.
Oh, well.
He said, my table. He says to us, we're going in to the waiters, "Do you have room at my table for these two?" And they're like, "Oh, of course." And I said, "Do you have a regular table?" He's like, "Yeah, we always sit here." I mean, I was in heaven. The whole experience was just fantastic. So bonezones.com, don't forget the S. And I told Dr. Vass that, since he's retired from public speaking, that a few people have asked me to come and talk about him, like I did for the Von Orr Library, Friends of the Library, for the Kahidi Women's Organization, and also in Von Orr.
And you have another gig coming up?
Would you believe that it's also in Von Orr?
Is it? Well.
The lady from Kahidi told the lady from the Rarity Bay Women's Organization
Yes.
that, "Oh, you should have this guy come and bring the pictures of the decomposing bodies."
You should. Maybe we should get you some Marble City Opera material to take with you.
I'm going to be October 1st. It's coming right around the corner.
All right.
So I'm excited about that, and you can hire me to do those presentations through bonezones.com. Don't forget the S.
Don't forget it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. So Frank, are these figs that are sitting out here?
Oh yeah. Would you like one?
Well, maybe in a bit.
I had to pick these a tad underripe, but I'm a little disappointed. Well, they've got enough of a little bit of the cracking. When the skin starts to crack, that means they're full.
Okay.
But they're not quite as brown or as soft as I would like. But the problem is the critters, the birds have been eating them, and I think raccoons.
Really?
Well, I had these little lace bags, that you get.
Right, that you put all around them and you tie.
Drawstring, like at a wedding reception, you put Jordan almonds in them or something, right? So I bought hundreds of these for the year that I had hundreds of figs. This year I have hardly any, but I've got a lot of unripe ones, but not very many ripe ones. So I was putting the bags on the ones that are getting riper, and I would think that protects them from the birds, right? But I'd come out the next morning, and it's gone, and the bag, empty, is on the ground.
Those are some fancy birds.
So they've knocked the fig off the tree and
climbed in and
taken the fig out of the bag in the middle of the night.
And the bag, it doesn't have a hole in it or anything?
Right, because the year before, I thought it was maybe a possum or something like that, because the bag had a hole in them, and it looked like somebody had just chewed
through
on the bag and just drawn all the juices out through the bag, and the remains of the fig are inside the bag. This time the bag is reusable. It's pristine. It's been opened.
It was just me.
So I'm thinking, something in raccoons with their little fingers would be doing that in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a couple of days, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. And then I got, for the next time, a couple of days, the figs that I know I had counted. I said, well, I've got 3 bags on these. I'm going to make sure I remember. I've bagged 3 figs, and I come out the next day. They're all gone. So I start looking around for the bags.
Sure.
The bags are gone.
Well, what did they take the bags for?
I think the raccoons were figuring, and I can only imagine, the raccoons had figured that I was helping them identify which figs were about to ripen, and I had put them in little to-go bags for them.
So they just took the whole thing with them.
Yeah, just off to the back.
They're like, thanks.
Back to the woods.
Thanks, Uncle Frank.
Back to the woods.
Yeah.
And now my friend Bean
Well, maybe they were giving some away as presents.
It's certainly possible. They were all in those little, beautiful little lace bags.
Exactly.
And I'll mention another fig thing right here, because while Bean is still fast-forwarding past fig talk.
Exactly.
I may as well do it all, in one chunk rather than surprise him later.
You don't want to make him have to fast forward again.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Why would you? Nobody wants that.
Sure.
I went to Lowe's to buy more chlorine, because apparently I've learned, I need to talk to you about this, that I put nowhere near enough chlorine in the pool.
You put chlorine in like all the time.
Well, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm putting enough in.
Okay.
But I was under the misguided belief that I had put in enough at the beginning of the summer, and it was getting green. And anyway, now look at it. It's pretty. It's pristine. It's sparkling.
Oh, it is nice.
It's because there's a lot of chlorine in that water. But They didn't have it. They had sold out at the Lowe's, and of course I'm in danger because you got to walk through the gardening department to get to the chlorine. So I always look to see if they have fig plants, always. And usually they just sell brown turkeys, and which I have a gazillion of those. I don't need any more, so usually it's a waste of time. But I happened to notice that they had two kinds of fig plants that I don't own. Something called a Kadota, Kadota.
Okay.
And it's $14 a plant. And a Violet de Bordeaux.
Oh.
Now, I've always wanted Violet de Bordeaux. She just sounds so enticing, doesn't she?
She sounds like an opera star.
Violet de Bordeaux.
Or like a character.
Yes. Well, I think I have, someone told me that that's also known by another name called Negron, and I have that.
Right.
That I got the fig frolic, but I just still, whatever reason, I'm caught by this Violet de Bordeaux. And one of them is like dead. It's like all the leaves have dropped off of it, and it just looks like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's basically a couple of twigs, and the tiniest little leaf at the end of one of the twigs.
Please pick me.
Yes. So I thought, and I picked it up, and I could tell right away, like I'm Mr. Gardener, like I'm Mr. Green Thumb. It was obvious that they had overwatered it. It was too wet,
Sure.
Right? It dripped when I picked it up. I bring it up to the cashier. I say, "You want $14 for a dead fig tree?" She's like,
"Well." For free?
She's like, no. She said, "We can mark it half price." I said, "Look, that's $7. I am not that good of a gardener that I can risk $7 on saving this mostly dead fig plant." She said, "Well, the lowest we can mark it down without a manager is $4." And I thought, do I want to get a manager over here?
You're like, I mean, yes.
To get it down to $3. or do I want to, at this point, just pay the dollar and get out?
Yeah.
So I did. I paid $4.
Okay.
And I got it home, and I put it in the ground, and now I've got leaves on every twig.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
I know. I'm excited.
This is a great story.
Violet de Bordeaux.
I think that could be a nice little children's opera. We see Frank Murphy going into the gardening, and there's this sad little plant that needs a home, and it's like, "Please pick me." And then you bring it home, and it blossoms. Look at that. It's so nice.
It's a nice story.
It's a nice story.
If I knew how to write an opera, I would,
a children's story. Yeah, that would be great.
Well, why not? I can write it. That's a great idea. You said you had an idea to pitch me.
I do.
But I don't know, is it for our job? I mean, because technically you don't have to pitch me on anything. You're my boss. You can just order me to do something.
Sure, but it's more fun to pitch an idea to you, because one of the reasons I like working with you is because I can say ridiculous things and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, and you're always like,"
that's
because
true.
maybe it comes from the, it being an improver, and so you're always saying yes.
Yeah,
and
I see that.
And so it's really fun.
Okay.
So I like pitching ideas
And
too.
in radio, people give me crazy ideas that I would have to...
And you're able to make them happen.
You have to make it happen. You want to dip Rita in this giant dunk tank full of 7-layer dip? Well, then that's what we're going to do.
Right. There's nothing worse than pitching a great idea that you're just excited about, even if it's really dumb and you're not actually going to be able to do it, and somebody being like, "Oh, well,
No, I mean, I've written about some of the crazy stunts we had to do at KLOS, and you would be amused. So what's the idea? How?
Okay,
you have to go pretty far to be crazier than stuff I've already done in my life.
It's really actually not even crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's for the podcast and Marble City Opera. Okay, so it's a combined idea. And it's kind of related to the fact that we're later going on a meeting.
Yeah.
To look at a potential venue. Mm-hmm. And I was
That's fun. I enjoy that, by the way.
Right. It's fun.
You said I didn't have to go. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. No, I do want to go.
I want to go.
So we made it so we can both go.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, though, we're going to be recording a podcast. And I was thinking about how fun it was when you used to go up in the Smokies and take the camera with us. And I was like,
we need to do that.
Should we just take the camera with us to our meeting? And then I started going down this path, and I was like, well, maybe we should take the camera to all of our meetings and everywhere we go. And then I was like, okay, so we're just going to create our own reality show. Because I've always thought it would be great to have a reality show about opera.
Yes,
and just because it would be really interesting. Think about all the other kinds of. So that's what I've decided.
Well, there certainly is.
There's a way to make it happen, and we just do it on the podcast.
I call it choir drama because improv troupes have choir drama. Choirs have choir drama. It certainly exists in a symphony, in an opera, in a school play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching a show called Unreal. right now. Oh my gosh. It's kind of dark, but it's basically, the premise is a reality television show is being produced, but the real story is what's happening on the other side of the camera.
Of course.
So yeah.
That sounds like fun.
It is fun. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I almost should have probably brought the camera to some of the adventures that we went on over the weekend with the brother-in-law and sister-in-law, because they came to town and really, last year we took them to the balloon festival at Sequoyah Birthplace Museum.
Right.
And that was a hot, exhausting trip. And this time they seemed to just want to take it a little easier.
Good.
But
it was hot this weekend too.
They always like to go to nice places to eat. So I looked up, just for fun, I said, here's a list of some restaurants that might be interesting to try. I think we went to most of them. I didn't intend to go to that many of them, but they got to go to Andy's frozen custard. They love that.
Delicious.
And a couple of other, standards. But one of the ones that I had found was Lonesome Dove. Have you ever been there?
I've
Miss
not,
Texas?
but I really should go. I
Now,
love that building too.
Well, I used to do improv in that building for 10 years. My first 10 years in Knoxville, I was there every Tuesday night. And I've got so many stories connected to that Patrick Sullivan's building, including the time that Frank Jr. was at swim practice and my wife is at choral rehearsal and I'm performing improv, and he is a sophomore in high school. He doesn't have a car. I asked one of the other swim team dads if he wouldn't mind to give my son a ride. And it's like, the guy says, all the way home? Because I live further away from downtown than this guy does. It would have been a hassle. I said, no. Just come from the swimming pool at UT and just take him to the corner of Jackson and Central and let him out at the corner. But please, please, please don't drive away. Make sure that he gets safely into the bar because he's only a sophomore.
Right. Yeah. And he's like, what? What's happening? Did he come in his bathing suit?
Well, he's got it in his bag that he's changed. The guys in the improv troupe used to call him Aqua Lad.
Cute.
So yeah, and of course he goes walking into the bar, and the bartender goes, "Hey, Frank Jr."
Your dad's upstairs.
And gestures him upstairs to where the rest of us are. So my wife and I had gone there one time for dinner, and we got the elk, and we got the scallops, and we got the stuff, the nice high-end stuff. And I was looking at the menu online, and they've got a bison ribeye for $92.
Oh Lord!
I know.
I don't like that anymore.
Well, then I click on something else, and I see, what's this? What's this? On Fridays and Saturdays, they have lunch.
Nice.
At Lonesome Dove. You can get a prime rib. You can get a prime rib sandwich. You can get a hamburger. You can get a chicken sandwich. It's a very limited menu, but you're there.
That sounds nice, though.
Yeah. And the prices, the sandwiches are $16, which is the same as Aubrey's, as Chesapeake's, as every other nice restaurant when you go for lunch. $16 is not a lot for a full meal. The prime rib, which is gigantic, was $20. And furthermore, we split it. My wife and I ordered one piece of prime rib and cut it in half, and a side of the Brussels sprouts.
$10 a piece.
Yes.
That's great.
We had a cheap discount lunch, and the guy was so nice. He says, we have not a happy hour, but if you want to sit at the bar, there's like 4:30 to, I don't know what time, but you can get the same menu during the week. But go back on.
Oh, you can get the same menu during the week if you sit at the bar?
During
regular hours?
Happy hour, whatever it is.
Like 4:30 to 7 or something
power hour,
like that?
it's something like that.
Okay.
If you sit at the bar, you can get that burger, $16,
nice.
Chicken sandwich, prime rib.
That's smart.
I know.
That's smart. I like that a lot.
The room, and it's just such a beautiful, they restored it. When I went there to do improv, we used to store our stage lights in a back room, and we had to know where to step, because if you stepped on the wrong floorboard, you were going to put your foot through. Yeah. But we had to work around the holes in the floor, and the whole place was falling apart. It was decrepit. But now it's just beautiful. And I went back up to the big room where they rent out for wedding receptions. Can we do an opera there?
I was just going to say, because I really want to do an opera there. I've always wanted to do an opera there. And I feel like you just gave a great commercial for them.
It felt the same. I went there and I had the same feels as... granted, they got new tables instead of the crappy ones that we used to have, but it had the same feels of the windows, and the view was the same out the window, and
how many people can we fit up
place
there?
where the stage is. I mean, I know it easily fits 100, but probably
really?
You could probably do more.
Oh, that would be good.
Kathryn, we have to.
We have to. Okay, good.
It just made me. I got all
I'm excited.
Well, we're running out of time, but I'll mention briefly that while they're having this big lunch visits with every other restaurant. We went to Aretha Frankenstein's
Ooh.
down in South Knoxville. That's a Chattanooga restaurant. There's always a long wait, but we were prepared for that, where they have these massively thick, 1-inch thick pancakes that are just, again, too large to eat for any human to eat, but I shared with somebody else, and they were fine with it. And that's the thing about all these restaurants we went to. We shared an entree everywhere we went, and sometimes some of the really high-end restaurants, they'll charge $10 plate fee.
Really?
We didn't go to those ones.
Yeah, don't go to those.
Don't go to that
terrible. They will not get a commercial.
Yeah. So we had some fun with all that. All right. I guess those are the highlights. I mentioned the Tennessee Valley Fair coming up. I think I got everything. Oh, one other restaurant fail. We were going to go out toward Turkey Creek, and it was Friday, and I was insisting on eating fish. So,
okay.
All right. So we thought, well, we'll get tuna salad sandwiches at Panera Bread.
Nice.
And so we drive to the Panera Bread at Turkey Creek, and we get out of the car. And
Does that Panera Bread exist anymore?
No.
Yeah, no.
So I didn't get any lunch that day. But we went to Cruz Farm Pizza Barn and had cheese pizza for dinner that night.
Oh, that sounds good.
Have you been there yet?
I have not.
Oh, we took the grandkids there. Actually, I've been there so many times in the past. I interviewed Colleen Cruz back in April. And since then, because she sold me on this idea that I want to go to her restaurant, I think I've been there 4 or 5 times.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's way the heck on the other side of Dodge. It's in the Forks of the River Industrial Park on the east side of town.
Wow.
Yeah, it's along the Holston River.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
So,
does it have a nice view too?
No.
No. Oh,
No. It's just it's an cool old building that is the ice cream house, and then there's like a modern structure across the parking lot where they sell the pizza.
Okay.
But the issue is that she's got all these cows, and so she didn't want to waste the milk, so that's why they started the ice cream business.
I love that.
And then she still had more milk, so they make buttermilk, they make coffee milk, which is delicious, they make chocolate milk. Then they started making cheese and selling pizzas.
They actually got mentioned on the first day of Intro Knoxville. That was on the tour, the historic tour. These girls got mentioned because of the fact that they take these cows and they had too many and the milk, and just the story that you just told. So
now you don't have to watch the interview when it's on TV, because
that's right.
That's where I got it from.
And now you can also give those tours. So
fantastic. Well, all right. So I'll have to leave some of these other things for next time. Because I have other fun stories to tell you, but we do have to go. This is the Frank and Friends Show. You can listen to this on Audible, and of course you can listen to tons of other great pieces of audio entertainment, audiobooks, and get a free 1-month trial and have it renew until you decide not. Dave Fennell was talking about all the podcasts he listens to on Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/Frank and Friends Show. Just thousands of options, and during that first month, you're a premium member, and premium members get a
free download?
Yeah, free MP3 credit every month, and you can bank them or go ahead and cash them in. And those are ones that you keep on your devices so that you can listen when you don't have connectivity. It's good stuff.
Perfect.
And our merch is at frankandfriendshow.com/store.
Check it out. Great things.
Beautiful
mugs, hoodies.
I found some new, I wish I could remember all the new doodads that I clicked on, but there were a few things that amused me that I didn't have before.
Yeah. Going to make some new Frank and Friends merch?
I did.
Oh, good.
After I stayed up till 1 a.m. After I did the Marble City stuff, I my ideas were going. I'm like, oh, I didn't know we had shower slippers. I didn't make shower slippers, but you could have.
Did you make Sasha a Frank and Friends t-shirt?
I don't think so, because I didn't think
she might need one of those.
I didn't think she'd wear it. I thought she would just wear the.
She'd totally wear the Frank and Friends
t-shirt.
T-shirt.
I guess I have to make one. And that's at frankandfriendshow.com/store. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening on any of the audio podcast apps. Thank you for telling your friends about it. And cheers to you. And commenting. We got nice comments on the last episode.
Nice.
Too.
Fantastic. Thank you
Someone
so much.
said that when you were here about the dynamic duo being back. So cheers.
This reminds me of the bell. Bing.
I put the bell away, but I will get the bell if you want the bell.
I
will find the bell. It's just DJs with bells tend to overuse them.
Gotcha.
So I'm disciplining myself. This is the Frank and Friends Show. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
And we'll talk to you again next time.